Amy DeLaura from Washington Examiner, and I'm here with Haisten Willis, our White House correspondent. And you were in the spin room for the debate. How was it? What were some of the takeaways?
Yeah, I thought there were really three big takeaways from tonight that stood up in my mind. The first one, I think people are going to be talking about the most from this is Vivek Ramaswamy, for better or worse. He got most of the attention tonight. Of course, the big guy was Trump. He wasn't there. People were expecting to see DeSantis, the solid number 2 guy, getting all the attacks. DeSantis was really relatively quiet, which is probably not very good for him. But Ramaswamy got a ton of attacks. He got in multiple repeated, heated exchanges with Mike Pence, with Nikki Haley, with Chris Christie. The crowd was very much on his side. The crowd actually prevented Chris Christie from even speaking at one point. They were booing him so loud that he couldn't talk. The moderators had to turn around, tell the crowd to be quiet, just so Christie could get his rebuttal in. So Vivek was making a lot of noise. People were saying he's inexperienced. He has no foreign policy background. He's not qualified for the debate. Pence said directly, Vivek, you're too young for this, basically. So we'll see as the polling comes out what happens there. But Vivek was definitely the center of attention, kind of driving conversation on the stage.
And so a big thing we've been covering all weekend is abortion. We thought this was maybe the number one issue in this debate, if not for going into the election in 2024. Was that on the stage tonight, do you believe?
That was my second takeaway. And I didn't even tell you that before we started doing this video. So it was an important topic. Abortion did not come up kind of naturally, but it was asked about directly by the moderator. And it's going to be a big issue whether Republicans want it to be or not. I think Republicans are not really, the Republican Party, the National Committee is not trying to push this issue, but it's going to continue coming up. The moderators asked about it, and there were a variety of different responses here. You had guys like Asa Hutchinson, Mike Pence were saying, I'm very much pro-life. I'm a evangelical. Mike Pence talked about the Bible and giving his heart to God and things like that. Other candidates were much more hands-off with this. That's something we heard earlier from today from Senator Ron Johnson here in Wisconsin, saying that we need to lead this to the states. We're going to lose elections if we go hard on this. But some candidates were doing that, and a lot of Republican voters are going to want to see a hardcore stance on abortion. It's going to be very tricky, I think, for any candidate to figure out.
You said there was 3, so what's the last one that was a big takeaway for you?
The last one was Trump actually did not really get a ton of attention tonight. I was surprised. I thought we would hear a lot of attacks on Trump, even in absentia. I talked to a Republican strategist earlier this week who said he thought Trump would get even more attacks if he wasn't there, because if you attack him and he's not on the stage, he cannot attack you back, basically. But Trump did not. That didn't happen. There wasn't a lot of talk about him. Really, the whole first hour of the debate was almost Trump-free. There was a lot of Vivek going back and forth. DeSantis got some lines in there that pleased the crowd, talking about his record in Florida, immigration, things like that. It wasn't until the moderators asked directly about Trump. What do you think about his arrest? He's going to be arraigned, of course, in Fulton County. What do you guys think about that? Who's going to pardon him? Did he do the right thing on January 6th? And so there was some interesting discussion after that, talking about, how good of a job did he do? Chris Christie, of course, attacked Trump.
Pence was put on the spot saying, here is who should have been the front runner with Trump as VP, and he's not. Yeah,
he was put on the spot and defended what he did. Of course, he's pretty much on record. He can't really run away from that. And then Vivek, though, Ramaswamy, again, kind of took the center of attention, saying he would pardon Trump, on day one, and pressed Pence. Will you pardon Trump on day one? And Pence said, look, he's not even convicted yet. So, but like I said, that was really a relatively short segment in a 2-hour debate. Trump was not super loud. Representative Matt Gaetz was in the spin room afterwards. He said that it doesn't matter. The race is functionally over anyway. Trump's going to win. Doesn't matter if he's there, if they're talking about him or not. But we're going to see what happens with that now that the debate's over.
Do you think there was anyone who was super stand out to you tonight?
It's going to be hard to say. I have my own biases on who I prefer. But again, I got to go back to Ramaswamy because he just got so much attention. He was attacked, even when he was not provoked. He was attacked. There were several moments when him and other candidates were like talking over each other, trying to get the attention of the debate. I thought it was going to be DeSantis getting attacked or Trump getting attacked. It turned out it was Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah. Well, I'll say here on the ground, right now we're at a Wash Bar Drink Wisconsin, just outside of the center, and we were seeing protesters go by, a lot of anti-GOP protesters, a lot of pro-Trump protesters. We've seen them all weekend, actually, marching around Forum and outside in the front today, just wanting to make their voices heard, saying they're in support of Trump. So it sounds like out here we heard more about Trump than you did in there. So
okay. Yeah, he's a big presence. He wasn't on the stage tonight, but certainly that's who we saw the most of throughout the weekend.
His presence was felt.
Yeah, T-shirts, signs, the whole 9 yards, right.
Well, you can watch our Up for Debate series where we break down how each of the GOP contendants feel about issues that